What's crack-a-lackin'? Welcome in to My Mind is a Weapon Fantasy Football Show.
My first sleeper start that I actually like as a RB2 or a possible flex play this week is Cam Akers. But before we dive into why I like him here, I want to show you the injury list heading into this week. This was tweeted by Dave Hellerman, NFL Dynasty Dorks. If you want to follow his Twitter, he drops great content, always keeps you updated with everything. So we have A.J. Brown that's out, Debo that's out, Cooper Kupp that's out, Addison that's out, Keenan Allen that's out, Dameon Pierce, Evan Ingram, and Njoku all ruled out right now. Doubtful players play about 1% of the time, so these guys are pretty much ruled out as well with Joe Mixon, Raheem Mostert, Kenneth Walker, and George Kittle. So, I mean, you still have other players on IR as well. It has been a brutal 2 weeks of injuries, guys. It is absolutely nuts. Now, why I like Cam Akers so much this week, they get the Minnesota Vikings. So the Minnesota Vikings got crushed by Jordan Mason for 100 yards and a touchdown last week. And the very, very, very big note you need to know here about the Minnesota Vikings is that linebacker Ivan Pace has been ruled out, and Pace has been the most dominant run game record in the NFL, PFF ranked everything. So you get even more of a smash play here with Cam Akers. Plus, you have to worry about Nico Collins, Tank Dell, Stephon Diggs, Dalton Schultz. The boxes cannot be stacked. And if you look at Joe Mixon's usage in week 1, he played 72% of the snaps and he saw 30 touches. This could be a 20-plus touch game for Cam Akers, and he should not be on your wires. And I love this start this week. My number 2 sleeper start is Carson Steel. So on the season, averaging 15% snap share, running back 88, 9 attempts, 27 yards. But again, he's playing limited because Isaiah Pacheco was out there. So now you have Pacheco out 5 to 7 weeks with the fibula. And why I like this start so much this week is because the Atlanta Falcons defense, their strength is their secondary. Their rush game is very bad. They're averaging 161.5 yards against them. That's 6th worst in the NFL. And you have Kareem Hunt, who was brought up from the practice squad as well, but he looks like he's going to be ruled out for the game or possibly on the sideline shorter. We don't know yet. So Carson Steel is going to get the first crack at this. And if you look at anything Samaje Perine as a running back, like people like to add Samaje Perine, I don't like Perine as a start because Perine's seen 0 carries on the year. So every time that they're spelling Isaiah Pacheco for a rush play, it is Carson Steel, and he had 7 attempts last game when it went down, and Perine had 0. So he's going to get a lot of work in this game, and I like him for double-digit points and a possible touchdown here and a very, very sneaky flex play this week. My number 3 sleeper that I have been tweeting about since before the season started is Jordan Whittington. So I know he popped off in the preseason, right, with 117 yards on like 15 catches. But here's the thing you have to look at. The 49ers' weak spot on defense is the slot receiver. Cooper Kupp has shredded us for years from the slot. Now you're going to get, I'll show you Matthew Berry's tweet here, Jordan Whittington, who as soon as Cooper Kupp got hurt last week, he played 62% of his routes from the slots. And the update this week is going to be that he is going to play the Cooper Kupp role. So if you're trying to roll the dice here, which you can, I mean, I'm not mad at the Demarcus Robinson start either as a sleeper, but I want the Cooper Kupp guy. I want the guy that they motion. I want the guy that they focal point the offense around. And you could play the Russian roulette with Tutu Atwell or Tyler Johnson. I am going with the safe play in Jordan Whittington, who is going to get the Kupp role. And the Rams run 3 wide receivers on every single play. They haven't ran a single play all year without 3 wide receivers out there. And I think Jordan Whittington is going to see insane volume in this game because the slot is again where we're weak. And I like him as a flex play if you're decimated by injuries this week. My number 4 sleeper and another viable flex play this week is going to be Jennings because the 49ers are absolutely decimated by injuries. It is absolutely insane. You have George Kittle out. You have Debo out. You have CMC on IR. It's going to be Purdy, Ayuk, and Jennings is who they're rolling out today with Jordan Mason, who I think has a big day as well. If you've checked out my other videos, I might have him as RB1 this week just because injuries. Now, when I'm looking at this game against the Rams as well here, I'm going to look at the Rams defense is allowing 438 yards per game. Their EPA is second worst versus the pass, and they've allowed 8 touchdowns, the most in the NFL through 2 weeks. And Jawan Jennings, even with them out there, has still seen 9 targets. Is still a top 50 wide receiver with 100-plus yards on the season. And now everyone's out. I love all his props. I love the DFS play here. I love the flex play here. I think Jawan Jennings is actually going to have a 10+ point game here, and you can probably still get him maybe off your wires right now if say your league's not super competitive. I mean, all my leagues he's on the wire, but this is for like everyone out there. And I think Jennings is going to be a smash play, not a smash play, but a serviceable flex play this week who could possibly find the end zone. Last but not least, my number 5 sleeper play of the week is going to be Johnnu Smith. So acquired in the offseason from the Falcons, he's played 24% of the snaps in week 1, up that to 42% in week 2. So he's getting more acclimated with the offense, Mike McDaniel's playbook, everything like that. Now, in this situation, you're going up against Seattle at the 12th man here, and you've lost Tua Tagovailoa. So now your quarterback is Skylar Thompson. What happens when you have a backup quarterback and usually as a tight end? You become the security blanket. They look for the short plays, the short passes. And this is what happened with Jacoby Brissett and Hunter Henry last week versus Seattle. And you gotta think that Jacoby Brissett and Skylar Thompson got to be somewhat similar quarterbacks in a way, right? Because Jacoby Brissett looks absolutely terrible. He just threw for 90 yards against the Jets. But look at these numbers. He sees 12 targets. Again, he's out there for 84% of the snaps. So we need to see Johnnu, as he gets more acclimated again, get out there for 60, 70% of snaps, which could happen this week. And he saw 12 targets, 8 receptions for 100 yards. This is where Seattle is weak, guys. This could be the security blanket game where Johnnu Smith is a solid tight end play, and how bad the tight ends have been this year. I mean, why wouldn't you just take the shot? He saw 7 targets last week. Yeah. 3 of them came in garbage time, but again, he was playing limited snaps. As his snaps increase, so will his volume. And I really, really like him as a tight end play this week. Like, I'm willing to put him in my top 15 and start him over some other tight ends this week because the tight end position has been absolutely terrible this year. That's the end of episode 60, everybody. My top 5 sleepers for fantasy football week 3. If you are decimated by injuries, and man, it has been a wild injury week. Thanks for rocking with me today. Again, guys, all my content is out. So if you want to check out my rankings, my stardom sit-ems, my bounce backs, my buy lows, my sell highs, now my sleepers, all that content is there for you guys. I'm here to help you win your weekly matchups and get you that ultimate goal of a fantasy championship. If you guys would do me a favor, smash that like, hit that subscribe button, turn that bell on. That is the end of my content for the week. I will be live the rest of the time. I'll be live today. I'll be live on Sunday morning, 2 hours for kickoff, Monday before the game, recapping and going over Monday night. And I cannot thank you guys again. And that's it for me, man. I will see you guys in the live videos. And if you can't make the live videos, drop any comment you have in fantasy football in the comments, and I will try to get to them all. And I'll see you guys next week, man. SleezBall out.